Hey, good morning. It's Good Morning Portugal with me, Carl Munson, on expatsportugal.com. Anybody whistling that yet? I'm into it already. Hope you are too. Thank you, Pete. Thanks, Pete, again for creating that for us and the lovely exit that we premiered yesterday. So stick around. If nothing else, the start and the end of the show are very, very good indeed. Thanks to Pete Wilton Davies in Castanera de Pera there. So really appreciate it, Pete. And another Pete on the screen already. Are you still trying to locate the right preservatives to spread this morning? Oh, you rascal, Peter. It was a croissant for me this morning, but I do know what you're getting at there. Bon dia, todos, from Nick Steinman in London. And bon dia, amigos, interested in this morning's show. And that will be because we have Simon Gotta joining us and this new feature of ours, which is the Cockerel's Coop. You've heard of the Dragon's Den, haven't you? Well, this is the Cockerel's Coop, where we're helping people pitch their businesses, spread the word about their businesses, such that they might get investment or they might get a bit of... Is that the rain pouring down? That's unbelievable. I'll give you a weather report in just a minute. The Cockerel's Coop, where we'll be talking to people with business ideas or established businesses. And in this case, Simon has already started his business and he needs a little bit of help to basically stay afloat. And he'll be talking about his business this morning after we've had a very quick look at the weather. Actually, the weather I can do very quickly. The animals are going in 2 by 2. And we should be setting sail by approximately Friday. News headlines. Let me just... get a different... Actually, I'll just read them out for you because I want to keep Simon on the screen there because I'll be giving him a ring in a moment and having a chat with him about his business. And you can pitch him with your help and ideas as well. Government creates vaccination simulator for over 50s in Portugal is from yesterday's Portugal resident. And that is... the main story they're leading with this morning. After that, Portugal sees yet another fall in new virus cases and deaths. And another pundit says Portugal could be among best in controlling third wave, says virologists. It's a roller coaster ride, this, isn't it? It's the worst a week or two ago, and now the best in controlling the third wave. Portuguese justice frees killer given life imprisonment in UK. There's a couple of really grisly stories like that in the Portugal resident in the last couple of days. Better news, another 6,573 people in Portugal recover from COVID-19 infections. And taking us towards this business stuff that we'll be talking about today, Portugal's cafes and restaurants will remain closed to end of April, says Tabloid. Mere speculation from the 7th of February, folks, but they are having a little guess about when things might reopen, and that is a long way from now, isn't it, as we'll find out from Simon in just a moment. And Portugal's public debt increases 133.7% of GDP in 2020. And one final news item, a couple actually. European Commission gives green light to 17 billion in state aid for Portuguese companies. So hopefully some of that will be helping to keep businesses afloat. However, occupancy per room in the Algarve down 78.8% in January. That is grim, isn't it? In the Algarve there. So the point of the show today, Consumer Tuesday, where we normally talk about things to do with, whether it be phone companies, rascal phone companies, electricity companies, best deals, that sort of thing. Occasionally, we will be going into the Cockerel's Coop, as I say, and talking to somebody about their business. This morning is going to be Simon Gotta over there in Óbidos. We spoke to him before, and he was a star of A New Life in the Sun, creating this business over there in Óbidos, and then the pandemic, the virus kicked in and rather messed his plans up. And we're ringing him now to have a chat with him about the situation for him now. Good morning. Hey, Simon, how are you, mate?
Good morning. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. We've got a few greetings coming in. People, I think, quite keen to hear about what's going on for you. It's from Wasnimi, Bon Dia Alegria, Pete Wilton Davis, the guy who created our lovely start and end themes. Morning from a warm and sunny Castanera de Pera. What? What? The Carl Munson Support Project should be the first business pitch today. Well, thank you very much, Peter. Paul Williams in Cabanas de Tavira down in the south, morning from a damp and grey CDT. Figures are encouraging, with the virus there. Hank over in California. Hola, bon dia, friends from California. Joel's up in Porto. Hey, it's raining. Says Garvo over there in Alvagra. Jim in Germany. Bon dia from a cold Wiesbaden, Germany. Good morning, people from Lee McGrady, who is quarantined in his gaff. He's the hard grafting gardener, the head gardener, actually. Great session with him, Q&A last night. Stuck in the house for a couple of weeks. I hope that isn't too much of a challenge for you, Lee. I expect you'll be making loads of videos. Bon dia from Kashkaish from Anna. Bon dia from John Gibson. From North Wales, we have Elsa Riley. Hola, bon dia from a dry and sunny North Wales. That doesn't go in the same sentence.
It's not fair, is it?
No, but good for you, Elsa. Bon dia, Alegria from Belgium, from Jani. Bon dia, hola, bon dia from Moscow with Carolyn. Pete Bleach in his preservatives comment. Stop it, Pete. Over to Simon in Obidos. What's the weather like there this morning?
It's horrible. It's horrible. It's raining.
Quite
it's windy.
frankly.
I've just had a look in the beer garden. I've lost yet another one of my parasols. Those big ones that cost about €600.
No!
Just snapped the wind. The shaft has just been snapped in the middle. So
hate it when that happens.
Wonderful day.
Oh dear! That's the last thing you need,
Fantastic.
Isn't it? With the way things are going. Simon, tell us about for people who weren't here for the last time you were with us, could you give us the backstory about how you were on TV and the project was covered, and then suddenly a plot twist. What's gone on for you in the last year?
Okay, so I basically, before I opened up this place, Cafe Rex, here in Obidos, I had a smaller little cafe in Bombahal, which is a village about 10 minutes drive down the road. And around about a year and a couple of months ago, I realized that I was sort of banging my head against the brick wall, and it just wasn't financially viable anymore. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, I'd made a lot of good friends, I'd made some really good contacts in that place. And one of those people basically made me aware of the fact that what used to be a bar called Belgitude, what is mine now, was available for rent. And the first thing I said is that I want it. I was introduced to the owners. We got on quite well. She did tell me that there was a list longer than my arm of other people interested in this place.
Yeah.
Family members as well, which made me think I'm probably not got much of a chance of getting it. But anyway, I got my friends and their friends and friends of the owners to all put good words in for me. We met up again, had a good chat, and I was given the go-ahead, and I was told that it would be mine if I wanted to pay the sum of so much every month and with a deposit, which is normal. And I took the keys to this place, I think it was early March, and the same week, the first lockdown started. Now, for me, fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know how you look at it, there was nothing inside the bar. So I'd had the foresight of buying all the bricks and the paint and the stone cladding and everything to keep me occupied for which nearly was about 6 weeks. So I was occupied. I'd plenty to get on with. Now, another friend of mine who I'd met in Bombahal, he had been made aware of Channel 4's program, A New Life in the Sun.
Yeah,
we're looking for people to participate in their documentary, if you like, which is basically it's similar to similar to a place in the sun. I believe a place in the sun is where they go and look at 3 or 4 houses and go through all the motions of choosing the right one for them and then putting in offers, etc., etc. Well, A New Life in the Sun is basically they go and film expats from the very beginning of opening up a business and film all the trials and the tribulations and everything that we have to go through to try and get the doors open, and then they do some sort of a follow-up a year after, which is called Where Are They Now? Well, I was fortunate enough to have been filmed by the production company called True North. Very, very professional bunch of people. Excellent production company. And they started filming. They saw all they were here from the very beginning. So they recorded all of the problems, most of the problems that I had to go through to get the doors open. And that's how it became. So I ended up on Channel 4. A great,
Amazing.
It has been it's a big deal. It's been apparently what happens is because Rex is on television, the tour operators, the travel agencies will be contacting me as soon as they can function again and operate again. Apparently, they'll be contacting me and telling me that they'll be dropping off coach loads of people on a regular basis throughout summer for drinks or coffees or lunches or something like that. So it is a big deal. As you can gather, the is a sort of stalemate for most people. There's not much that we can do.
Yes, so on paper, that's fantastic, isn't it? So they're in the coach, and we're going to Abydos, and we're going to go and see that guy who was on TV. You might have seen it on Channel 4. Oh, can't at the moment. No one's going anywhere in coaches or holidays or anything like that. So you've got 1 foot on the brake, 1 foot on the gas, wanting to get going again. Have you had any government help to stay alive? Because I understand, it's a bit dicey, isn't it? The longer this goes on.
Right. Apparently, a friend of mine told me that as from the beginning of this month, there was some help being made available by the government.
Yeah.
I've asked my accountant to look into that.
Yeah.
There is something else which is very interesting. The government have made it impossible for owners of businesses to be evicted because of non-payment of rent if they have been forced to have closed by the government.
Yeah.
Now that is a big deal.
Of course it is, yeah.
For people like me, the rent obviously needs to be paid one day. But from what I can understand, what the rent that isn't paid will be summed up, divided by 12, and are paid in 12 installments. But I don't think the first installment needs to be made until something like 2022.
Good heavens!
Now I've been very lucky with my landlords. And they are good people, and they've been very understanding and very patient. Yeah. I'm trying to get them something as much as possible every month. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get them exactly what I'd like to be able to, but at the end of the day, they have been good. They have been patient. So I'm going to try my best to get them something every month, which I think is the right thing to do, just to show that I'm a decent person. And at the end of the day, where does it stop? Where does it stop, Carl? I mean, they've got to have money on there. They've got to put food on their tables, and they've got to eat as well. And if they're, it's just a horrible mess that we're all in, to be quite honest. And
yep, no question about that. Absolutely. And you have got a bit of a pitch for us. We'll say a few more hellos to people, and then we'll go into the Cockerel's Coop, good and proper. It's not the Dragon's Den, it's the Cockerel's Coop. And Simon needs a bit of help, and he'll basically, I think, pitch to you what he's looking for in just a moment. Obviously, with any of the people who come on, and I do invite you to bring your business ideas onto the screen here on a Tuesday. If you've got a business idea, if you've got a business that's operating, if you need a little bit of help at the moment, come and talk to us. And basically, you guys in the community here who are writing the comments at the moment are like the Duncan Bannatynes and the Deborah Meadens of the world. But I don't want you to be all kind of eggy and dramatic. We don't need to do the full-on Dragon's Den thing. Let's just see if we can be very positive and constructive and helpful to anyone who has the bravery, the courage really to start a business and then come on and talk about it. So let's be constructive and helpful. Susan Renshaw says, good morning everyone from a very wet Torres Vedras. We're getting these biblical downpours that I can hear in my headphones coming through the microphone. It's quite bizarre. I think it's locusts next week. When I said I wish I looked like Aquaman, I didn't mean this, says Gary. That's and you'll get to meet Gary when we can get over to your bar, Simon. A few of us from the Man Cave will be coming over to see you, Gary included.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah,
looking forward to it. You're gonna have a great time. I hope you all like beers, because I've got about when I'm open, there's over 30 different types of beer I've got.
You might be able to twist our arm. I'm not sure about beer, but we'll see. That's a lot of families out of jobs and in difficulties due to the dictatorship of the government, says Joel, not mincing his words this morning, and its inability to decide the best course of action to address this pandemic. And understandably, people are getting a bit frustrated now, and I'm not against people expressing themselves as long as they do it respectfully and legally on the show here. Morning, says Valerie. Spencer Beck's lashing it down here. and it has been all night. Black as pitch. Fed up with it now. Need some sunshine. I think that speaks for a lot of us, Valerie. John Hayfield, good morning, Carl and Co. from a bright Cotswolds dusted with snow. That sounds like picture postcard stuff there, John. Hannah Downing. Oh, hello, Hannah. I'm always listening. Snowy London. Oh, snowy London. Good morning to everybody in London. My family over there as well. Bon dia. To you, Anna, who's saying bon dia to us. Anna de Silva there. Pete Bleach, here's another bit of poetry, setting a scene over in the UK. Snowing heavily here in the boulevard of broken dreams. You got away with words, Pete. Bon dia, alegria from Chiar de Lisboa, from Ernest and Lizelle this morning. Good morning to you two. Looking forward to seeing you on this slot. The Furtados will be here next Tuesday talking about their property business that is now resident in Lisboa. Bon dia, it says bon diary, but we know what you mean. Bon dia, the dog's sulking. Yes, my dogs had one look at the outside world and then got back in their boxes. Connie George is saying that. No walk this morning from Bajuka. The delightfully named Bajusa or Bajuka. I'm going to go with Bajuka. Bon dia, the Lisboa from Rizal. Good morning to you. Lisa Ryan Simpson. Bon dia from a very cold Jersey. The one over there in the state. Oh no, Jersey Channel Islands. But that's what I thought. It was an American state. I was thinking, I don't know what that is. I won't mention it. But of course, it's the Channel Islands. Good morning to you, Lisa Ryan Simpson, Connie George. Oh, I put the link to the Rex Bar in. So the very least you can do is show a bit of support by liking the page. It all helps. It will help Simon get more profile. Bajuka, the dogs are sulking. No walk this morning. Bon dia to all from Prosecco Peggy in the south. Good morning. I bet Simon has got a few bottles of Prosecco ready to roll as well. Bon dia from Rainy Terceira Alegria. Taking issue. Alegria, really? Yeah, come on. Let's make it a positive affirmation. Joyfulness. We need to keep our eye on that prize. Hi from a grey, wet, windy Bajuka. Thought I was back in England this morning, says Connie as well. Bon dia, Carl from Jacqueline. Claire Bendel. Claire to us. Bon dia to you. Simon. Some help suggestion coming in already from Valerie over there on the Silver Coast near where you are. There is some help available for business managers, which we would be. My accountant applied yesterday. It's not a great deal, but after pretty much 2 years of lockdown, every bit helps. So there you go. Maybe you can have a chat together afterwards, or you can tell us more, Valerie, as that unfolds for you. Vanessa Smith-Cracknell, bon dia to you, Vanessa. Peter, we're not looking for any outside investment, but I am trying to get our social club to buy a heavy-duty wood chipper that anyone in the area can rent out, borrow to save having bonfires and to make compost. Great idea, Pete. Chipping, I've really got into that. I bought a little one, and it's a really marvellous bit of kit. And that sounds like a great asset to your community. If anybody over in the Castanera de Pera area wants to get involved in that, what is that? A consortium to buy an industrial wood chipper. Lisa, I'm moving to Alvor in April. Was wondering how easy it would be to start up an ice cream van, English style. Come and talk to us on a Tuesday, Lisa, about that ice cream van idea. Very nice. Helen in Thailand. Bon dia from sunny Thailand. How is Portugal these days? Well, wet and a bit miserable, to be honest with you, Helen, but we've still got a lovely sunny bunch of people here on the Good Morning Portugal show. We'll be down to see you for sure with Terence, says Gary. That's addressed at careful, Simon. The Austin brothers are coming to give you a visit. Actually, okay. Yeah, they're not Cockneys. They're not like the Crays. They're more like the Peaky Blinders. They're from Brum, and it's the Austin brothers. So they'll be paying you a visit. Not frustrating. I am angry. Oh, he's gone from frustrated to angry. Portuguese are way too peaceful regarding politics. Wow, Joel. Really getting off his chest this morning. Bon dia, Alegria. I watched the programme with Simon's Bar and we thought it looked like a great business and a great location, says Adrian. Pity about the current situation, and I hope Simon gets back on his feet soon. I'm sure it'll be a raving success and we'll visit when we get the chance. That's a great jumping off point, Simon. What is it you need from people right now?
Right, good question. Basically, I'm not sure if there's any depth into the article I read a couple of days ago, but I did read something quite disturbing regarding bars, restaurants, and cafes. And the article basically says that we are not going to be open until at least the end of April.
Yeah,
that's quite a long way away. That's at least 80 days away. It's the usual story, isn't it? I need to pay bills, and I need to try and get money to the landlady, not as much as normal. But that's basically it. I've got to try and raise some money. So what I've been thinking about this week, by the end of this week, I'm getting some coupons printed up and made up. So for example, buy a coupon for €50 and get €55 back in goods when I can open eventually. I'm also looking for, if there'd be anybody interested in helping me out with some form of a loan, then I'm prepared to talk to them personally over the telephone and discuss payment schedules and interest rates. So basically, Carl, that's the situation I'm in. I need to raise some cash to be able to get through the next basically until I can open, which I really do hope for all of us who are in the same situation that it's not going to be until the end of April. That's the situation I'm in.
That was a really grim article, seeing that, and I think that was a tabloid just kind of trying to stir it up a little bit to actually provoke the government. They were trying to provoke the government, weren't they?
I don't know. I hope there's no foundations in there. It certainly provoked a lot of people, but it didn't come from the government. I think that is, as you mentioned, it's just the newspapers, possibly their idea. I don't know. I don't know, Carl. I hope there's no substance to the article, because 80 days is quite a long. It's nearly 3 months, isn't it?
Well, of course it is, and you know there aren't many businesses at the best of times who could cope with that, and we have a real spanner in our commercial works at the moment, don't we? And I think the time has come where we have to think about looking after each other, because I mean the proposition you're talking about, of course, is a finance package, isn't it? Like sort of borrowing from the future, which is what you would do ordinarily with a bank. But what we're talking about here is the possibility of doing that on a more community level. I suspect we are going to see more credit unions and personal lending across the community to help preserve the things that are important to us. So if it were Jeff Bezos asking here this morning, we would kick him out, wouldn't we? We'd send him on his way. But what we're talking to a person in the community here who is an asset to the community as part of a local scene. I mean, I'm sure you have locals as well as the tourists who come by at the best of times. And these are the little businesses that absolutely, these are the lifeblood of Portuguese life, as far as I'm concerned. So it's worth thinking about how we can all help each other out here, I think.
I'm very fortunate in the sense that Óbidos, in the surrounding areas, Óbidos, there is a phenomenal expat community around here.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, when I'm open, they come and support me in the form of being a customer.
Yeah.
Or some of them have been helping me out, bringing food for me or for my dog. It really is on that side of the coin. I'm very lucky to be in the middle of a very large expat community.
Great.
Another thing is that, and most of those people, when I can open, they come and support me. Another thing is, here in Óbidos, it's one of the most visited places in Portugal. Generally, there's about 2 million visitors here a year.
Incredible.
Divide that by 365, it's around about 4,300 visitors a day.
Yep.
And there are, inside the castle, inside the walls, there aren't enough bars and restaurants to feed that many people at one sitting.
Yeah.
People are waiting an hour and a half, and sometimes more than that, just to get a seat.
Yeah.
I've just got to get through. Like all of us, I've just got to get through to when things start to revert back to some form of normality. And I'm looking at my back door now, at the garden.
Yeah.
There's an enormous car park, an enormous empty car park,
yes,
just literally behind the beer garden. To the right of the beer garden, there's another empty, enormous car park. And on the other side of the road, I don't know if you're familiar with Óbidos.
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah,
there's three enormous car parks, and they're normally full every day of the year.
Yeah. I've parked in one of those car parks, and I've seen the tourists arrive by bus. You know, on a good day, you are sitting on a gold mine there, no doubt about it. You hear what Simon needs there. He needs to get through to when that's possible again, and when he can start being customer facing and serving those busloads of tourists that he's talking about, and of course the locals.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I bet you are. How long is it now since you've actually pulled a pint? Commercially, not for yourself.
I took. How long has it been since I pulled a pint?
Yeah, for the public.
Good question. Just after New Year.
Wow.
But Christmas was the end of December was horrible because I don't know. We had the intermunicipal lockdowns.
Yeah.
Bars and restaurants had to close at 1 o'clock at the weekend.
Yeah.
It was pretty rough. The last time I pulled a pint, not for me, for a commercial one, would have been probably the first week in January.
Yeah, and then before that, I guess you had a very extended lockdown and uncertainty. So this is all adding up to a very grim picture that's pointing towards surviving this next stage until we can get back in business, literally. And the opportunity is there to support Simon. Okay, I'm not giving a personal or corporate recommendation. You have to do your own due diligence, obviously, but this is the place for people to make those sorts of appeals, and you figure out for yourself whether this is a good situation to be involved in. Sounds pretty good to me on a personal level, that you can pay it forward a bit, get a token in the business and help Simon survive, and then get more for your money later on, or go in at a different sort of level, and be a bit of a business angel by the sound of it, and help a small local business survive in Portugal. As I said before, the absolute lifeblood of, us expats, this is what we came here for. The little businesses, the bars, the cafes, the restaurants. This is a really important part of Portugal, and I think we need to preserve it. Anything else you want to say, Simon, before I guess I was going to say before you go back to work, before you go back and sit in an empty bar, anything else you want to share with everybody?
No, I'd just like to say thank you very much for your time. If there are any listeners out there that would be interested in helping me in any way, shape, or form, all my details are on my Facebook page. My telephone number's there. It's Rex Obidosport. I believe you've been sending out the link on your Facebook page to my page or something similar.
Yep.
If anybody out there that's listening now wants to take this a step further and call me or send a message to me through Facebook, it would be a pleasure to speak with those people. Other than that, Carl, you've been a star. I appreciate everything that you've been doing for me.
Well,
stay safe, everybody. Chin up, chest out, and let's get through this together.
There you go. That is great. Chin up, chest out, and let's get through this together. Somebody may well give us a Portuguese translation of that. The link to the Facebook page for the Rex Bar is there, and all those details you will find, as Simon says, if you want to step in and help. And even at the very least, step in there and give a bit of moral support. All you people who want to come to Portugal, maybe like his page, and tell him that he is on your itinerary. When you get it, you must go to Óbidos anyway. It's absolutely fabulous part of Portugal. Go there, go support Simon. Simon, take care, mate, and I hope it all turns out well for you.
Thank you, Carl. Have a good day.
All right, take care. Bye for now. Ciao.
Bye bye.
Right, so there goes Simon Gotto of the Rex Bar in Óbidos, and I am urging you to come this way. If you do have a business idea that you want to pitch, get some ideas. I like that, the ice cream van idea that's come up already. Do tell us more. I'll find out who that was in just a moment. And also we've got the Furtados who want to come and talk to us next week, and that will be love to share about my company, says Ernest. What is that? Portugal, expportugal.com. Which is we'll find out more next Tuesday, but some kind of property business, and I think investing in property very good for the Portuguese economy, obviously, as well. And we're on those sort of lines with Ernest and Rizal, who we'll talk to next Tuesday. Further vitriol from Porto this morning, waiting to go to the slaughterhouse and laughing on the way there. Joel not at all happy with his fellow countrymen and women about their relationship to their politicians. Interesting always to hear from a native local person about politics. And Joel, an amazing fella who joined us in the Expat Man Cave. He's our real Portuguese person on a Friday night in the Expat Man Cave from 10 o'clock. And he was really on form weren't you, Joel, last Friday? Very frank in your views. It's rainy down here, says Peggy, today, but intermittent sunshine to remind us of what's to come. Grateful there is no snow or cold. Absolutely. That's a blessing worth counting, that, Peggy, for sure. And as I look at the weather for the week ahead, I see that there is the merest mention, it has to be said, of some sunshine. Friday and Saturday might see some proper Portuguese sunny weather. So it was surrounded in a kind of rain sandwich. Let me put it like that. Link not working to the Rex Bar. That's unfortunate. Can somebody else help me out? If you've been successful in getting through to Simon's Rex Bar, Susan's struggling with the link there. Can you help me out? Someone else who's managed to get through successfully, or someone who's located it, and pop it in the comments for me. I'd be very grateful. I'm sure Simon would as well. Hazel's here. Bon dia from Hazel and Simon in Parque da Floresta, Vila do Bispo. It's a tad windy. Yes. Did you get one of those warnings last night? I did. I got a text from the. It's always I'm never sure. Is it Finanzas? Is it my invitation to my vaccination? It's got a nice ring to it, isn't it? The invitation to the vaccination. But it was a sort of public. It was a government warning that came through. Aviso Prosiv, which I guess is the sort of citizens texting network. Chuva e vento forte nos próximos dias. So strong wind and rain for the next few days. The risk of inundações. Risk of inundatedness. Is that a good translation? Or flooding, I guess that's going to be. Fica atento. So be careful, stay alert, folks. And you can, I guess, if you sign up, you'll get these public alerts at Aviso Prosiv. I don't even remember doing that, but it was. It came through as a sort of chilling text late in the evening about strong winds and rain. So we're properly into the beast from the east again, I think, in this current weather pattern that's coming in and giving us a bit of a hiding. Heavy rains and winds, folks, are on their way. And a tad windy in Vila do Bispo. I love that part, actually. I was talking to somebody, to Shelley, about Vila do Bispo. What a lovely little town that is down there in the Algarve, looking out across the Atlantic. Beautiful part of the world, Hazel and Simon, that you live in. I have a female fashion brand here in the Algarve, says Vanessa Cracknell. I could really do with some new followers likes here. So let's do this, folks. Let's support these businesses, okay? It's not going to cost you anything to go like these businesses, and if you like what they do, tell other people. I think it's really important at the moment. We need to extend our support to the local businesses, because we will miss them when they're gone, won't we? It's no good having that business that you wished you'd gone to. Now is the time, if you possibly can, I think, to support. And it doesn't have to be financially, does it? It can be with sort of reaching out and it, like Simon saying there, chin out, chest out, and we'll get through this. And extending moral support, giving time, getting involved in finance if that's your thing. But now's the time, I think, to step forward and for us not to be too shy about this, because the prognosis is pretty grim. And I think, as Joel's saying, if we leave it to the politicians, they may not be able to cover every base. Let me put it like that. So we've got Gogo Virago. That's a great name, Gogo Virago. That's the female fashion brand down there in the Algarve. Vanessa, if you want to join me on screen sometime to talk about that business, you're very welcome. As is anybody here in the Cockerel's Coop this morning. Let's have a look at a few more of your comments then. Good morning, Carl, from Sean Maguire. Very popular video, Sean, selling your property over there in Castelo Branco. Any nibbles? Do we need to go and celebrate at Simon's when that's possible on the successful sale of your property? Penny. Bon dia. Snow flurries here in Brixham, nearly unheard of over there in that part of Devon. Incredible. So hard for business owners all over at the moment, even harder for Simon and others in hospitality. A lot of love for Simon this morning and what he's trying to do. Donna Jacqueline, everyone is looking for money. I must emphasize that we must do more than just wait for things to get better. Yes, thank you. There is our expat elder speaking. Say more, Jacqueline. Please do use this as a platform for your wisdom. We're so open to that, and your words of wisdom and comfort. I must emphasize, she says, that we must do more than just wait for things to get better. Well said. It's heartbreaking, says Hazel, to hear how businesses are suffering so badly. How about a GoFundMe page? If it is possible to run such things, Hazel, I think it's a matter of getting the formula right, isn't it? It's, humans being humans, you do have to get that balance right of you kind of what's in it for me, as well as helping the project out, I think. It is possible to do all sorts of crowdfunded things. I think, that's what we're talking about here on a Tuesday, isn't it? With the Cockerel's Coop, is what is the best way to do this? I quite like Simon's idea of, you buy a token and you get a sense of value, don't you? I mean, some people just aren't into that. And if they see a worthy cause, they'll just give the money. They're not looking for some sort of return. Others are, and that's fine. The important thing is whatever it takes to get that business through, right? But yes, Hazel, there are GoFundMe. It is possible to do GoFundMe and a whole range of other crowdfunding options. Okay, so coffee.com, all sorts of things. And Jacqueline and I actually did do a show on these various platforms, Patreon, coffee.com or kofi.com. and GoFundMe, all of that sort of stuff we have looked at in the past. Give me a shout if you need to know more. Jacqueline, Mary Brown, we have to not only help each other, but find ways of using our skills in the situation as it is. Yes, that's right. Dig in and dig deep right now, waiting for help to come. We might be waiting for quite a long time. As our experience in the last few months, year, you might say, will prove to us. We need action on a community level, don't we? Jenny, Simon, I'll come to your bar, Rex Bar, next year. Do you have Belgian beers also? I can answer that, Jenny. He absolutely does. It was owned, I think, by Belgian owners before, and there's a very good tradition there of celebrating the beauty of Belgian beer. Gail Lynn, and there's a few Belgian expats around there, I suspect, as well. Bon dia, alegria from Ericeira, where the wind is howling 50-mile-an-hour gusts. Incredible this morning, isn't it? And last night, this weather. There is financial help to restaurants, but most of it is connected to previous amounts of business. As you're a new business, it's harder. It's just, it beggars belief, doesn't it? I mean, I understand why it's like that, but you know, clearly that it helps very well established businesses who you might argue have got a little bit of their own backing and savings and so on. And the real help is needed for people who probably don't have a track record to stay in business. It's kind of biblical, isn't it? To them that have, it shall be given. To them that have not, it shall be taken away. I think, if I may make a little bit of a layman religious biblical reference there. As you're a new business, Anna says to you, Simon, it's harder, but try to contact associations of the sector and they will try to help. Yeah, and I think a lot of hospitality businesses are pulling together, even those that are saying, look, enough is enough, we're going to open anyway, which I have to say I have some personal sympathy for. There is also help for managers. You have to try everything, says Anna. I can foresee a little bit of a thread on our forum, actually, at expatsportugal.com. Maybe the business owners, expat business owners, can get together there and share notes. Perhaps you might want to do that over at expatsportugal.com/community. This is such a great idea, says Anna da Silva. I wasn't familiar with Pitch Your Business. If anything comes out of this pandemic, let it be this: a greater sense of helping one another. Keep the faith, Simon. A lot of expat and international groups on social media. Don't forget to post there. Good luck. Anna, thank you for your support of this idea. And we will do it. We'll do it on a Tuesday, or record me a message, send it through to me. You know what to do. Let me put that number on the screen, because there are all sorts of ways of getting in on the show. You can send me a voice message and I'll play that out as well. So let's do this. Pitch your business. Tell us what you do, what you need. Whether it's just at an idea stage or whether you're an established business like Simon, who just kind of got wrong-footed with the advent of the virus and the pandemic. I hate to say this, says Jacqueline, but things might never change. So we need to live with what is now. And I have an idea, says Jacqueline, in a kind of Martin Luther King kind of way there. Tell all, Jacqueline, or let's book a time for you to come on the show and do that. Might be time to fill those car parks with some motor caravans that get thirsty and hungry for takeaway. There we go. There's some lateral thinking. I'm not sure how that would work in the current restrictions, Gary, but I like the cut of your jib there, sir, in a little bit of lateral thinking about this. And that's another part of this formula, isn't it? Is we have to think, I'm sorry to use a terrible cliche, but we do have to think outside the box of the normality that we used to have. Because, it wasn't as if we were without problems in the world before the pandemic. It just seems to have accentuated them, doesn't it? And made all the weaknesses very, very glaring to us. So yeah, we need to get outside the box of this last year, but also I would argue the box of previous years as well. We need new community models, new financial models for making sure that the money does stay in the community and the lifeblood of local community continues to course through the veins, rather than making the likes of Jeff Bezos richer and richer. That doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, this thing of with Amazon, sending all of our money out of the community. I'm not completely down on it. I think it's a great idea, Amazon, but we have to be aware, don't we, of the social impact as well, and just tweak, do some tweaks, get the balance right, rather than completely pinch off the energy and love for businesses in our local community. Simon says, Ernest, just sent you a message on our site there. And a good idea here in Belgium, you can buy around now for when the cafes and restaurants can open. I think actually Simon was inspired by that, because you mentioned that to us before, Jenny, which is a beautiful idea. And I think his kind of pay it forward thing is kind of connected with that. You know, you can buy in now, buy a token, and beer tokens. What a great idea, huh? And you will get a greater value than the value you pitch in for by the time he opens up. And we are a one-stop real estate local shop, national and international, says Ernest. So a real estate shop there, if that's your thing. I'm wondering, says Fiona, if Simon is able to provide some takeaway, like a theme night where food and perhaps wine could be booked to pick up, and create virtual events where people share said meal together from home or on Zoom or similar. That's virtual dining over Zoom. That's a great idea, isn't it? We've not thought about that on our man cave. Actually, it's a bit like that. We are a virtual pub on a Friday night, but that extends it to a bit of dining as well, which is a great idea, Fiona. I know virtual pubs are springing up in this way. Why not food, i.e. curry night, Mexican night, could work if there's enough supportive locals. It sounds like there are enough supportive locals over there in Obidos. So what's the idea? You basically have a takeaway, and he delivers it, or you pick it up, and then you go home and you all connect up on Zoom. And hopefully it's a little bit more convivial than Handworth Parish Council. Have you seen that? Incredible. The dark side of Zoom, Handforth, isn't it? Handforth Parish Council meeting. Incredible. The link worked for me, says Carolyn. So I think that might be working for some, and the link works for us, says Peter Bleach. EXP Portugal virtual 3D real estate brokerage. There you go. That's Ernest and Lizelle's business that we'll find out more about next Tuesday. Hey there, Shelley. Thank you for that. Putting the link in there. The Rex Bar in Obidos. Link worked for me. So the link seems to be fine. A great idea, says Ernest to you. I like that idea. Jacqueline, let's come back to Jacqueline here, because a lot of comments coming in. I am told that the reservoirs are full and some overflowing, but full for the first time in years, which might be a good thing for the future. Yes, on the abundance side of things there, Jacqueline, yes, plenty of water. And Mark from Pavot de Vargim was saying yesterday, 97% full. So there's the upside. No rain, no wine as well, of course, to remember. Thank God my home is safe from the risk of flood. Yes, we showcased that, of course, didn't we, Debbie? And you'll be joining us on Friday. Debbie Doos will be here with Care and Share Portugal. Share and Care. Forgive me, I've got that round the wrong way on one of my goes there at least. But remember, we talked to Debbie and Jacqueline, of course, about facing sudden bereavement here in Portugal. And they were very, it was really helpful that you shared your experiences. And Debbie's gone a stage further now to create a service to help people in such need, so that you won't have to be in such a grim situation as she found herself in. We'll talk to her about that on Friday. Thanks, Carl, says Vanessa. My pleasure. Vanessa, tell us more about that business. I love the name, Go Virago. My son's business did similar in lockdown, even had a live lounge idea with a band or stand-up who would usually play in their place, streaming or from wherever they could to accompany the virtual events they did just once a week. So yeah, there's some good scope there. Still no takers yet over there in Castelo Branco. Jacqueline is spot on. You have to diversify and find something in the market that is still viable in the current conditions, I guess you're saying there, Pete. Good day for Bitcoin yesterday, Peter. A comfortable and warm evening here, 7:40. That's Mark, isn't it, over there in Australia, and 23 degrees. It sounds idyllic, Mark, over there on is it the Gold Coast? I think you're on it, isn't it, in Australia there. Join the Good Morning Portugal Social Club for 10 quid. I didn't know about this. €5 goes to Carl, and the rest you get back in discount from the connected businesses who pay €30 to partner. You also get invited to the Good Morning Portugal annual party, which of course we'll have in central Portugal in Obidos, won't we? Enough car parking for us all there by the sound of it. Pete, tell us more. This is sounding interesting. Okay, it would be great to create a directory of business pages in your site. We've had the start of that, but that's another great idea, Ernest. Thank you for that. Yeah, what the kind of small business directory. Yes. Thank you, Ernest. Rizel, create a mastermind group of business owners. Very powerful stuff. Mastermind groups for sure. And I suspect you two might be in one of those. Do you have any vacancies? Find the need and serve it, and you will succeed, says Jacqueline. A question to ponder. Are there more needs in the pandemic than there were before? So if the answer is yes, then there is a greater possibility of prospering. She is on fire this morning with some insight. Thank you, Donna Jacqueline, for that. My wife started a small coffee alternative business on eBay, Amazon, and eStay called Danoffee. She makes and sells a dandelion root that is roasted. Oh, sorry. Yeah, she makes and sells a dandelion root that is a roasted and ground coffee ready for use in French presses. That sounds very, very posh and special. East London Kiwi. Feel free to put the link on the screen. Don't be shy. A lot of our food providers, i.e. the Chippy, says also the pizza places are providing takeaway only. Phone in, place order, and it's delivered. Is that something that can be done? So that's, I think, more than one person saying that, Simon, now to maybe consider a takeaway option or delivery. Yes. Fiona from Jacqueline. Gary, when is someone going to start growing tea in mainland Portugal to sell to us tea belly British? That's yes, because of course it is grown. The Azores is where you can find tea, of course, as well as rice, I believe. And I wanted to show you a couple. Sorry, this is a little bit of a digression, but not too much. I mean, this is supporting Portuguese business. A couple of products too. Let me just move Simon for just a moment there. Look, I found this Bon Sucesso, Sucesso, Arroz Carolino. This is rice. You know, we talked to Thomas from the Ribatejo area. This is Ribatejo rice from the paddy fields of the Ribatejo. There you go. You can buy rice in Portugal. I love that idea. And there you go, supporting the Portuguese economy in doing so. And it's not. This is a special offer in Pingo at the moment. I think that was kind of €1 something, and you get the feel good factor of eating rice grown in Portugal. Incredible. And another product I wanted to share with you. This is new to me. Look at that. It's got a great taste sticker. That's a good start, isn't it? Honey from sugarcane, mel de cana sacarina. And again, I'm struggling to understand the label fully, but I think this is a product. It says something like quality, taste and tradition since 1935. I'm guessing a Portuguese company. Loads of magnesium and iron in that product. Having it in my tea this morning. So yes, grow tea in Portugal. There's another option. When Gary is like a tea billionaire possibly, he will say, yes, looking back in the old pandemic. Oh no, he doesn't talk like that, does he? When I look back on the pandemic of 2021 and I started my tea business, we never looked back with all those tea belly British. He doesn't really talk quite like that, but you get the idea. Performers did, sorry, Gary, Fiona, performers did their bit for free as they were fully on board for saving their local venues and just wanted to stay connected to their public. They did, of course, get a free meal ticket. And thank you to everybody who, we had a bit of a whip round. We passed the virtual hat round for the Belters who were on Friday. And, all of you very kindly, some of you are very kindly, put your hand in your pocket and bought them a drink. And many a mickle makes a muckle, doesn't it? They came on and did 3 numbers, and people were generous. So thank you if you bought the Belters a drink. And that's the kind of model that's possible now. That that technology is rising beneath our feet. Absolutely. This is the in Belgium. I think that's the idea. Camper meal is the scheme that Jenny was talking about. Yeah, Debbie Doos. Yep. See you on Friday for that. Let me just have a quick cough. Excuse me. Need to spare you that. I need feeding. Oh, okay. There's a need in Portugal. Anyone operating a breakfast delivery service in the Caldas Terrena, you have a customer there. It's like it is like black treacle. It is a bit like molasses, this stuff, Jacqueline, but not quite as thick. It has a sort of honey-like consistency, but it does have that kind of molasses kind of smell to it. If you like molasses, I'm sure it'll be a nice ingredient in cakes. Mel de cana is like molasses in the US. I use it in recipes that call for molasses, says Donna Morgado McLaughlin. Good morning there. A lovely mix of Portuguese and Scottish, I would say there. What's the name of the honey from sugar product? There you go, Rizel. It is mel de cana, honey from sugarcane honey. And that's a special on the, in the little shelves where they do all the bargains. I think that's a couple of euros a pot. So another great product from Portugal. Terry, good morning, Terry. Good morning. If anyone has a pitch, we have a team of investors. Here we go. All the W's.b-brave.pt. We help hundreds of companies each year find a mentor, investment, or just helping hand through their growth in Qashqai. But we are in the world online. Terry, thank you so much. I think we have made your acquaintance before now. Didn't know you did that. If you want some of your people who you think, hey, these guys would be good on the Good Morning Portugal pitch your business idea, please send them our way. If they want a bit of sort of feedback from a community, we'll be delighted to have them on here sharing their idea. And as you can see, we've got a lovely crowd here who will give feedback. But thank you for mention of bebrave.pt. What a great website address. Sounds like, all right, sorry, Gary. You know me. It's kind of a bit of improv, isn't it? So sometimes your brum will go a bit scouse under those circumstances. Shakamela.com is a tea. What? There you go. From Shelley to you, Gary. We do have a tea plantation north of Porto. So there you go. Learn something every day. Every day is a school day here on the Good Morning Portugal show. Thank you, Mel Decana from Rizel there. A nice new product to try out. The Soraya River, close to Villafranca de Gira, is where you'll find most of the paddies in the area. Thank you, Andre, for that. That's as you're heading out of Lisboa, isn't it? On the N1 there, Villafranca. Fascinating part of the world. I mean, they're still doing that bullfighting stuff through the streets there, aren't they? And is that the Villafranca you're talking about? Terry Hamill, great idea. Let's collaborate. Yes, Terry. Let's get some of your people on this screen. Always fascinating, isn't it? I mean, the thing people like, the TV show that Simon was on. People love watching stuff about, starting a new life, property. And I think business is the same. The enduring success of the Dragon's Den. It's not the Dragon's Den. It is the Cockerel's Coop here on a Tuesday on Good Morning Portugal. Pezet, with love of the Pashos family, working with olives is our passion, whether it is on groves of our farm, in our restaurant or on the road. So this Johnny is recommending a Portuguese business there. Okay. Pezet, thank you for that. Feel free, everybody, to just big up local Portuguese businesses that need our love and support right now. Good morning from Miami, from Cecilia Valdes Fernandes there. Good morning to you, Cecilia. And yes, it is that Villafranca, which is a fascinating place. You can take a little detour off the that you can do rather than going on the A1, N1. Go on the Ribatejo Road, stop off at Golgal, and incredible places, the old world Portugal, away from the toll roads. Yes, bull runs are done in July, says Andre in there. That always divides the crowd here, Andre, the bullfighting thing. Rice was first planted in Portugal by the Moors approximately 1,000 years ago. I think we need a tea import collective to buy. Oh, yes, of course. Kate's here, everybody, who likes a fine Assam, I think, in the mornings to start her day. I imagine her sat there with her bone china, loose leaf tea strainer, milk in the cup first to stop staining of the tannins on the fine porcelain. Very civilized start to the day. But she says, I think we need a tea import collective to buy fine teas from India and support the growers in those regions. Economic nationalism leaves everyone with less. Okay. Always an interesting view from Kate, challenging the is it counterintuitive? What is it? It's countering prejudice, isn't it? As we've come to expect from UK. So, but this buying local thing, perhaps it's about balance, isn't it? I think economic nationalism has its place, doesn't it? But within a mix, surely we're talking about balance again there, Kate. But another lovely idea. It doesn't have to be the world's best tea, because we drink any old rubbish, as I learned when I went to a tea plantation in Sri Lanka once. I always think that the sweepings from the floor of tea warehouses is the stuff that gets sent to PG or whatever, or Tetley. And we've grown up to like it, haven't we? And, the best tea is kept, like Portugal, best wine is kept in the country, isn't it? And as a well-kept secret, I'm sure all the finest tea in the world, with any luck, the people who grow it have the first call on it, or that country. And then they send the rest of it away, or they serve a premium market, which is probably what Kate's getting at there. I'm in, Kate, as Duncan Bannatyne. What's the big fella called? What are those? So we've got Deborah Meaden, we've got Duncan Bannatyne. Who are some of those other characters on there? But we can all pretend to be those people here on the Cockerel's Coop, and that's me saying I'm in. With that tea importing collective there. Rizel, it's great to hear about all of the local businesses, says Rizel. No bone china here. I love it in a mug I bought in Tesco years ago. Always ready to challenge a all of my preconceptions there, Kate. This is becoming a habit. You're not far from right, Carl. Is that a political statement or a statement of correctness? I'm wondering. I have to admit, this thing about like if you're not left wing when you're young, you haven't got a heart. When you're not right wing when you're older, you haven't got a head. Is it Winston Churchill who said that? And I'm sure Kate might correct me on that as well. But are you making a political insight there, or is that your assessment of balance there, Gary, that I was talking about? And Phil Austin, good morning from a wet and windy southwest Alentejo. Always great to hear from the Alentejo. I can imagine that wet and windy weather blowing across the plains of Alentejo there. Good morning to everybody in the Alentejo this morning, including our old mate, Mr. Perky Perkins. About the sweepings, so that when you were where were you in Sri Lanka? The sweepings are the bagged up and sent to Blighty. You've all been amazing this morning. Thank you so much for being here this morning, for bearing witness and giving a few insights and tips and support and encouragement to Simon Gotto, the first official candidate on our Pitch Your Business idea, the Cockerel's Coop, here on the Good Morning Portugal show with expatsportugal.com. Don't forget to sign up over there as well. We're a small business too, expatsportugal.com. All those premium memberships really help. And Pete, we need to speak to Pete, don't we, about that idea as well that he came up with during this show. Whoever said it doesn't stand up to intellectual. Whoever said it doesn't stand up to intellect. I thought you might respond to that, Kate. We have to get you back on the show sometime soon. There are a few loose ends from our earlier and fascinating conversation about how countries create and spend money. And I'd love to hear your diagnosis and your prescription as a proper economist to be getting out of this mess currently. So no to economic nationalism. No, national economies are not like household economies. We learnt that lesson for sure when you were on. And now the idea that people are more likely to be left-leaning when they're young and right-leaning when they're old, that doesn't stand up to intellectual scrutiny either. We need to get you back on. Peggy, Prosecco Peggy, thank you, Carl, for allowing all these folks to remind us that there will be normal life again and we will have places to go. God, yes, Peggy. We can't forget that, can we? We pride ourselves here on keeping the Portuguese pilot light lit. And that is what I will continue to do. I promise you that, Peggy, for sure. And we're looking forward to your passionate portrayal of the Algarve soon in Battle for the Best Bit of Portugal, best place to live. You go on to say, Peggy, looking forward to getting out helps keep the spirits up. Doesn't it just? We have missed it so much, that part of Portuguese life, which is just pootling about in town, popping into a cafe for a coffee and a tosta mista or a nata, cafe e nata, those things we've taken for granted, perhaps, and we're really missing them now. And I for one, cannot wait. Carolyn agrees with smashing the wrecking ball of intellectual scrutiny against. I think it was Churchill. We'll come back to that. I'm sure that's not going anywhere soon. And Mag saying thank you for a great show. My pleasure, Mag. Absolutely love to see you. Lovely to see you here this morning, Mag. I hope you're doing well, and lots of love to you and your mum. Okay, folks, there's the WhatsApp number. Should you ever want to leave me a voicemail, which will play out on the show. And we'll be back again tomorrow. We will have Paul from Fiduciary Wealth Management, who helps people transfer and manage their assets here in Portugal. Well, he deals with people all over the world. I think of particular interest to people who are managing pension funds and their taxation issues from the UK. But we'll find out more from Paul of Fiduciary Wealth Management tomorrow on the Ask Anything About Portugal episode or edition of the Good Morning Portugal show tomorrow. And we should be going to Barreiro on Thursday for Places and Spaces. My people are still talking to their people about that. And Debbie Dews, as I said, will be back on Friday. And we will be extending the conversation we have with Paul tomorrow morning to a webinar on Thursday at 7:30. So if you've got concerns about managing your pension, your personal wealth, your taxation issues, Paul's your man. Fiduciary Wealth Management, find out more about them on expatsportugal.com, and we have a special relationship with them over there, and can get you a discount on their services. Paul will be here to tell you more about that tomorrow morning. Thank you, Carl. You are an ace. Ooh, very kind. Thank you, Jacqueline. Can I quickly pitch? Yes, of course you can, Phil. Our micro tourism business, Quintal Yurts, which has suffered structural damage during the storms, which need to be repaired before we can reopen in April. Of course you can, Phil. Let's have a link, mate. Quintal Yurts, I'm guessing that's quite a niche business, and if you search for Quintal Yurts, there is another opportunity for moral support and even investment. So Phil Austin, you're welcome. Tell us more. Here comes the closing titles. Yes, says Pete. Thanks for that reminder, Pete. And needs a small amount of funds, says Phil. So another opportunity to support a local business there in Portugal, a yurt business. Loving your videos, says Fiona to Pete, I think there. So let's roll it, shall we? And we'll see you in the morning. Here we go.